There is a big question regarding Roman Reigns that needs to be answered. In this video, I'm going to answer it and why it is so significant. Because Roman Reigns, he is finally back in the fold, doing his thing, week in, week out, appearing on Friday Night SmackDown. And as we get closer to Survivor Series, we know that it's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline. That is the most obvious thing that they can do. Roman Reigns, since WrestleMania 40, he has come back, and he has come back in a big way. He's also come back as a babyface, and he's also come back with a little bit of help. The Bloodline storyline has dictated WWE for the last 4 years, and whether you like it or you don't, it's the biggest storyline that they have been doing, and it has all the steam in the world. It does not appear to be ending anytime soon. Roman Reigns returning at SummerSlam as a babyface, going after Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu and the Tongas. Jey Uso Monday Night Raw doing big things as a big single star. And now, as we saw at Bad Blood, when it was Roman Reigns teaming up with Cody Rhodes to beat Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, it was Jimmy Uso returning. Well, they're still out of numbers. Bad Blood marked the return of The Rock, and there's been a lot of chitter-chatter about what is going to be happening. Would Rock be working WrestleMania? Because coming out of WrestleMania 40, they planted the seeds. Rock, Cody Rhodes. And that aligns with what has been previously reported, right? It was going to be Rock and Cody at WrestleMania 41, and then you do Roman and Solo at that same event, before ending the trilogy and what would probably be The Rock's retirement match, Rock versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 42 in 2026. Then there was conflicting reports, right? Would Roman and Rock even happen? Would Rock versus Cody even happen? It was reported by WrestleVotes that they were considering a triple threat, Rock, Roman, Cody, for WrestleMania 41. Then Dave Meltzer, he came out with his own report and stating that The Rock wasn't working WrestleMania. The Rock later came out on Instagram and said that was BS. WrestleVotes has since reported that no, Rock is still working Mania, which all signs point to it. So that leads us to today's video. The big question, what do you do with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 41? If the original plan was him and Solo, and the original plan is still for Rock and Cody, do you alter the plans? I think this is the big question. Does Rock plan on working WrestleMania 42? Because if he does, then there's no need to change course, right? You still have Roman versus Solo, and you have Rock versus Cody, and then you do Roman and Rock at WrestleMania 42. However, the big question, and here's what I want to answer. You do not need to do a triple threat with Rock, Roman, and Cody. Please don't do that. That's a horrific idea. And I'll tell you why. The very first time that Rock and Roman touch, it should be as a singles WrestleMania main event, not a triple threat. Now, I understand that people, they prefer singles matches. Sometimes they prefer triple threats, maybe a fatal four-way, and vice versa. Some people don't like those types of matches when we're talking about main event level matches. WrestleMania main event level matches. When you have Rock, one of the biggest names in the history of the business, and Roman Reigns, who will also follow that same tagline, when it's all said and done, you don't want to remember, well, they touched before, but it was in a triple threat, right? No one is wanting that, in my opinion. You can serve all masters. Another question is, if Rock doesn't plan on doing WrestleMania 42, then do you do Rock versus Roman night 1 and then the triple threat? Okay, then I can see that, right? There's a lot to play here. Another question is, do you do Roman versus Jacob Fatu instead of Roman versus Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania 41? Because it's a bigger match. I understand that they have built Solo Sikoa for the last 4, 6, 8 months as the new tribal chief and as this dominant star. The only problem with that is he hasn't been a dominant star. He continuously loses matches although be it at live events. And if he is on television, he still loses matches, right? But they're still pushing him as this authority type dominant leader, and it's like, no, dude, you're a loser. Jacob Fatu, on the other hand, everyone in both the new Bloodline and the OG Bloodline, they're terrified of Jacob Fatu. He is this monster. He's this mysterious figure, and it works well. I actually think Roman versus Jacob Fatu is A, going to be a better match because Solo Sikoa sucks as a wrestler, and B, is a more intriguing match. Can Roman, as a babyface, can he overcome this mysterious, this monstrous, this dominant star in Jacob Fatu, who we still don't know a lot about, who we still have not seen a lot from? Those are more interesting questions. That is a more interesting match than a a Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns match, right? The other question is, do you have Roman? Does he have the full support of Jimmy and Jay? And you also need a fourth guy as you move along into WrestleMania, because I understand that you're going to do a Bloodline versus Bloodline match November 30th, Survivor Series. We see this, right? And the big question is, do you do Sami or do you do undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes as that fourth guy? I would lend myself to say it's probably going to be Sami for two reasons. One, he has more of a history with the Bloodline. He also has, actually three reasons. He also has a relationship with Jay on Monday Night Raw, which has stayed intact, right? And also, Cody Rhodes, he served his place. He did what he needed to do. Now it's time to move on. He's still your top star on SmackDown. He's still the undisputed WWE champion. So you need to have him have successful title defenses. Let him have his own feud. Let him go in his own direction. Let him work with others, be able to bring up guys, etc. Right? Have two big dominant storylines on Friday Night SmackDown with the men rather than one, because you have Cody Rhodes involved, right? But it's going to be very interesting. And also, I know Dave Meltzer caught a bunch of flack for his Rock report. Look, he could have been fed bad information, or whatever you may think. But he's had a rough year. Hopefully, he can rebound, because he does get a lot of good stuff. He really does. And he's been doing it for so long, and I have a lot of respect for him. But I think he just got fed bad information on Rock. But we're going to see how this all plays out. Either way, sign me up. I got my front row seat with my popcorn, and I am ready to see how things play out between Roman and everything involved in this storyline, because it's going to be a lot of fun.